Hello everyone, it's Maria here from pepperlyrose.blogspot.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my new subscribers and my current subscribers and my viewers for taking the time to watch my videos. It makes me so happy. Thank you. I really love what I do and I love to share what I do. So by you watching it, it just makes me to keep going really, so thank you. Today I want to show you a card that I'm going to make using the beautiful Rose Wonder stamp set from Stampin' Up, and it's in the Current Occasions catalogue, and it's a beautiful set because it's just used for so many occasions. It can be used for a wedding, a birthday, a thank you, sympathy, Mother's Day, you name it. So you can use it for a lot of occasions, and I'm going to show you a technique that I have been wanting to do since I jumped on a blog, and this particular blogger is an amazing stamper and card maker, and her name is Jennifer Maguire. I'm sure the stamping fans out there have heard of her. She, I think it was last year, or maybe a little bit the year before, I don't remember the date, but anyway, she used a technique with foiling and a laminator, and I just fell in love with it, and I wanted to use it using Stampin' Up! Products. So I'm really excited to share this with you. I've had a lot of hit and miss with her method, and I kind of adapted it to suit me and with the products that I have. So I hope this will help you. The only thing that's non-Stampin' Up! That will be used is the toner reactive foil. This foil comes in several colours, and the one I have is by Pulsar Professional FX. This foil I found on eBay through an Australian seller, and yeah, I just fell in love. It's just such a cool technique to use. But other foils that are around on the market are Heidi Swap, Thermo Web, which does deco foils. They're available in Australia, and I know for those of you who watch overseas, they're readily available in your countries, but here in Australia they are available in some online crafting stores. But yeah, so this foil Stampin' Up! Does not sell, but you can find that at any local craft store. The other thing that you'll need is a laminator, and I'll bring that into the shot later on. I found mine at Officeworks, so under $30, so it's good value for money. So I'll get stuck with this card and just show you how easy it is to make. So I'll just bring around. I have pre-cut, what's it called, basic black cardstock. I'll just take you out of shot a little bit, it's a bit too close. Yeah, this is basic black cardstock, and I scored it down the middle, and it's A6, but you can do it to any dimensions you want. And I've attached already some gold foil. I thought I'm not going to get you to watch me actually putting it together. It's more so the technique that I'd like you to see and how easy it is to do, and also to just show you that it doesn't take long to do it, and it's something different you can do with your current Stampin' Up! Product. So I'm just going to use this black panel, the basic black panel. I've cut that down so it can layer on with that gold and gold foil sheet. The most important thing with this technique is to use your embossing buddy over the top of the panel that you're going to be foiling on. Now this is really, really important, guys, because like with regular embossing, if you do not use this, then you'll have bits of foil sticking everywhere you don't want it to stick. So it's kind of the same as embossing, and the method is kind of the same, but there will be a slight difference. Now Jennifer Maguire's technique is pretty much the same as what I'm doing now, except my technique is slightly different to hers by one step, because I found for for my laminator, it worked better if I skipped a step to make it easier. So anyway, I'll just apply the embossing buddy over the top, and I'll just apply quite a bit of powder, and I'm just going to bring around now my stamp. Now I'm using my Fiskars stamp press because I just find that it's just easier for me to use it and to get a better impression for me anyway. So I'm inking up this beautiful image here, that rose image. I absolutely love it. And I'm also, I've put on the same, onto my stamp press as well, the thank you. So I'm just going to ink that up with Versamark. I'll just make sure I ink it really, really well. And this is super fun, guys, and super easy. Can't believe how easy it is. Okay, so I'll just ink that up really, really well. Okay. I'll bring around my black piece there, and I'll just make sure I get rid of the excess powder. And I've just got a piece of copying paper underneath that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to line up my stamp press the way I'd like to arrange it. So that looks about right to me. So I'm just going to press it down, and this is, as I said, inked up with Versamark. So I'll press it down, make sure I get a really good impression. I've tried this technique a few times, and I did it the way Jennifer Maguire recommended, which was to use, you know, your embossing powder, and I'm doing all the steps she asked. The only difference is that I'm not heating it up with a heat tool. I'm doing slightly different because I found this is what works best for me. I have had a lot of hit and miss, but I found this one was the more foolproof one. So I just want to make sure I get a really good impression and not miss any spots. Okay, now you can do this with your normal stamping blocks, but I like using this one for today's method. That came off pretty easily. Okay, so the image is embossed, not embossed, but there's the Versamark images on there. Yeah, I think you can see that now, which is great. I'm just going to bring around my clear embossing powder. This is Stampin' Up. I've just emptied it into a container because I just find it's easier to put the embossing powder on without making a massive mess and losing embossing powder everywhere. So just carefully lift this piece up. Oops. Just grab some clear embossing powder and I'll just start applying the powder. Okay. Just make sure I get the powder all over the image. Just keep going. Now ordinarily, after you apply the embossing powder, this is clear, I'm not sure if I said that before, normally you'd heat it with a heat gun, okay? This method, I'm not heating it with a heat gun. I'm just going to put it straight through the laminator with the foil on top. Now you think, whoa, you can't do that. I tried it several times and it worked great. And so I'm going to do it again. I had more success with it attaching onto the embossing powder that way than if I heated it up again, because I don't know, with embossing powder, when you heat it up too long or for too hot, it doesn't attach very well. So I thought I'll make sure I do it right. Okay, I think that looks good. Let's apply a bit more ink on the thank you, not ink, powder on the thank you. And I'm just going to tap off the excess excess powder, sorry. I'm obsessed with the word ink. Don't know why. And if you find that there's any excess powder on there, just sort of just get rid of it with a brush or with your finger. The thank you seems like it's got a bit of a, just make sure I don't touch any of the image. Just give it a good flick. Got a bit of excess powder there. Wipe it off. Okay. Just give it wipe any excess powder off, because like with embossing, any excess powder that's on the foil will attach itself onto it. Alrighty, so I'll bring out this foil, and I've chosen gold satin. It's a beautiful foil. Bring that out. What you need to do is you need to cut it so it covers the whole image there, okay? So I've got some bits and pieces here don't throw those out because they're handy if you want to foil any small pieces. I'm going to use my craft scissors, and I'm just going to cut enough to cut the image. I mean to cover the image. Jeez, I can't speak today. Okay. Now if you have a little bit of overhang, that's okay, because what you can do is, I'll just trim it off a little bit. What that can do is that can kind of like anchor it a little bit, so when it goes through the laminator it won't move. Okay, so I'll just pop this to the side now. With the foil, it is really delicate, it's really, really thin, okay? So you've got to be careful. If there's anything sticky, this will attach itself onto it, no problems, okay? So, what I'm going to do now is just bring around my image. Try not to touch any of the powder, okay? This has not been heated through. This is just the powder on top of the Versamark ink, all right? So what I'm going to do very carefully is that I'm going to fold. Just see how big it is. Make a guess. Okay, I'm just going to fold a very small amount over, like that. Okay, it's just a little bit extra. And what this will do is that when I put it through the laminator, it will allow me to do that. See? There we go. And I'll just put it over the top. Oops. Without it destroying your image. And so far so good. Okay, so it covers the whole thing. Now I'm just going to bring my laminator closer, and I'll just angle the camera a little bit towards where the laminator is, so you can see that. Okay. Okay, I'm now going to feed this through the laminator with the folded end in first. Now on Jennifer Maguire's blog, she said for you to heat it up with a heat tool. I'm just feeding it through straight through the laminator, and it's now going through. Now this laminator is very inexpensive. It's a GBC Creative Splash, and it's an A4 laminator. I found this at Officeworks and it was under $30, so there's not much outlay. And the foil that I got, let me tell you, it's 8 inches wide and 15 feet long, so it is massive, and it's great for those mass-produced things that you need to get done, projects. And now here comes the magic. Ooh, looks like it's attached already. Alright, now just angle the camera back, so I hope I don't make you dizzy. There we go. Alright, so as you can see now, if you can see this, it looks like it's attached on. See that? I'll just give it a minute for it to cool down. Now I cut too much foil, too wide. You can always cut it down and make it a bit narrower, but it doesn't matter if it's a bit longer, because this was good to anchor it down so that when I feed it through the laminator it won't move and it won't destroy your image there. So let's see, we'll do the reveal. So just press it down a little bit more. Okay, let's do a reveal. Just slowly peel it back. And wow, this turns out really good. Look at this, all foiled. Excuse me, I was just oh dear, sorry about that. Sorry about the timing of that. But check that out. It is full on foiled. Now there were straggly bits there. I didn't have a little brush with me to brush those away. But on the whole, this actually worked out extremely well. And I'm really happy. And by the way, if you're not happy with these extra little bits, you can get the edge of a, I'll use my scissors here, but you can actually scrape off very carefully those excess pieces of foil. And it's no drama at all. Check this out, guys. Okay, I'll just show you now. Here, there was some there that was in the way, and I scraped those away. Here, I will pick a spot there. See this one here? Pick that spot there. I'll scrape those away now with my scissors, the pointy end of the scissors. And I'll just show you, they just come off very easily once scraped off. So you can grab the edge of a craft knife or anything like that. So anyway, I'm not going to scratch all of them off, but you can get rid of excesses that have, you know, come. And there, look, see over there, clean as a whistle, and you can't tell on your cardstock that you've actually scratched that off. And let me say, this actually does not come off. So watch this, it does not rub off. It is fantastic. See these bits there? I'll just get rid of that just to show you again how easy it is to scrape it off. But it cannot rub off. You have to actually physically scrape that off with a knife or with a, you know, a end of scissors or whatever. Check this out, guys. A lot cleaner now. Ta-da! See that? There you go. And it turned out fantastic. Isn't that beautiful? And it's a foiled image. How exciting. So as I said, make sure you put plenty of embossing, the embossing buddy, rub it over. Make sure you do that quite a bit. And it shouldn't, any, you know, stray bits will not stick on there. Now I'll just bring around the card. I won't put it together for you because quite simply, you know how to put together a card. I just want to show you on top and the technique. And there you have it, guys. Look at this card. Isn't it beautiful? And look, imagine this with other colours and it would look gorgeous on white as well. How gorgeous is that? And this is gold foil cardstock, basic black, and this is the colour, this is the one I got, but you can get Heidi Swap, has her own line of foils, and as does as well is Thermo Web. And they have deco foils, and they are pretty much the same thing. But I found this because it's easily available in Australia as well, and it was so cheap. It was under, I think it was around $20, so that's not bad for foil. And look, guys, that's how it looks when it's all done. So you can even use this as a negative if you like. Imagine that on a card, it'll make a nice effect too. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you this technique. I thought it was wonderful, and there are ways you can do this without, you know, the expense of buying expensive machines or whatever. This was relatively inexpensive. If you've got a laminator lying around, there you go, you have another use for it other than laminating your documents. One warning though with the laminator, and it is this: do not put tiny pieces through. They will get caught up in the rollers of your laminator, so be very, very careful. And usually they put carrier sheets, like, for example, you have your image and you say you put your foil onto it. You have a carrier sheet, like, for example, a folded piece of copy paper, and then you run it through. I did that and it did not work out well at all. It was the terrible, terrible result. Jennifer Maguire went through the same thing, and she found the same thing as well with her laminator. So what I did was I followed her instructions, and it's at your own risk, by the way, with the laminator. But for under $20, I've never had a problem putting it through. Just make sure the pieces aren't very small. And as I said, if you follow my instructions where you have it slightly larger, a little bit of a fold, put that over the top of your cardstock so it acts like a bit of a, like a little, kind of anchors it in, and then you feed it through the laminator first off through that end, and you won't have a problem. I didn't have an issue, didn't get caught up in my laminator, and I had a beautiful, beautiful result. So guys, if you're interested in this technique, I say give it a go. You can use this technique on with glue even, but I wanted to use the laminator because it's just a fantastic result. And this works best with line images, so nothing overly solid, because you'll get a, you know, you won't get a great result. So any straggly bits, just grab, you know, some scissors or the end of a craft knife and just give it a little scrub, and it'll, not scrub, but you can scrape away the excess foil, and it'll be great. No one will know the difference. Okay guys, I hope you really enjoyed this technique. I know I have. If you've got any questions that you want me to clear up, please feel free to comment below, and I will also link up the video that I first saw this technique through Jennifer Maguire's blog, and you can see for yourselves how she did it. For me, not heating it with the embossing with the heat tool was much better, and having just the powder and then through the laminator, I got a far more even and better result than if I used it the other way. Alright guys, have a wonderful day. I hope you've enjoyed this technique and have fun with it. And yeah, hope to see you around, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!